From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, September 16th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.59 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,320 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.8 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,873. Antiwar.com reports a new poll from Gallup shows that a majority of Americans, 58%, are in favor of attacking North Korea militarily if the U.S. cannot accomplish its goal by more peaceful means first. Americans were split more or less evenly on whether sanctions and diplomacy could work. This is the first time since 2003 that Gallup has asked about attacking North Korea. At that time, only 47% favored an attack. The shift in the last 14 years appears to have been greatly along political lines, with an overwhelming 82% of Republicans now backing war, compared to just 37% of Democrats. The possibility of such an attack has been discussed a lot more this year than any time in decades. Repeated North Korean tests have been presented as a growing threat to the U.S. mainland, with the Trump administration declaring diplomacy a failure from the start. Despite so much talk of imminent war and a shift toward support for military aggression, the poll also showed a majority of Americans don't think a U.S. attack would be happening in the next 6 months, suggesting that most believe something short of a war is going to be given considerable additional time. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports the Department of Justice will not be permitted to withhold federal grant funds from cities that refuse to assist federal immigration officials to pursue suspected undocumented immigrants, according to a federal judge on Friday. U.S. District Judge Harry D. Leinenweber in Illinois said in a 41-page ruling that Attorney General Jeff Sessions likely overstepped his authority in efforts to urge sanctuary cities to give federal agents access to jails or tip them off when a suspected undocumented immigrant is scheduled for release. The policy to withhold federal funding was rooted in an executive order signed by President Donald Trump in January, declaring sanctuary cities would not be eligible for federal grants, which Sessions has been working to enforce ever since. In July, Sessions added new requirements for local law enforcement, specifically requiring access to jails and information on suspected undocumented immigrants 48 hours before their release from jail in order to be eligible for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program. The lawsuit was filed by Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel in early August in response to the new requirements. Chicago officials said 37 municipal and county governments also filed briefs in support of their suit. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports hundreds of protesters poured into St. Louis streets on Friday, and some scuffles erupted after a Missouri judge acquitted a former police officer of murder. With the National Guard on standby in case of violence, authorities appealed to demonstrators to remain peaceful as they protested the outcome of a case reminiscent of circumstances that spawned racially charged unrest in nearby Ferguson and gave rise to the Black Lives Matter movement in 2014. Police said several protesters threw rocks and water bottles, while video footage and eyewitnesses witnessed police officers dousing at least 5 people with pepper spray about a block from the courthouse. As of Friday night, police reported making 13 arrests and said 4 officers had been assaulted. One group of demonstrators tried to enter Interstate 40, but were blocked by police officers in riot gear. Former St. Louis police officer Jason Stockley was found not guilty of first-degree murder in the shooting death of Anthony Lamar Smith 5 weeks after the end of a non-jury trial. Stockley said Smith fled in his car when the officer tried to arrest him on drug charges. Defense attorney said Stockley believes Smith was armed. A gun was found in the car, though prosecutors argued Stockley planted the weapon and that the gun only had Stockley's DNA on it. Stockley and his partner shot Smith 5 times while he was in his car. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.